Hey, friends. Welcome to the Raising Boys and Girls podcast. I'm Sissy Goff.
And I'm David Thomas, and we're so glad you've joined us for this conversation. Let's dive in.
We were talking before that we would say you need the title of spiritual director of the Raising Boys and Girls podcast.
Really? We're making it official
Yeah, we're
today.
making it official. Yeah.
And tell me what that entails, a raise or anything else. If I'm a director, usually our directors get a little...
That's a little bump.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's true. Well, it just means we like to have you on talking about faith, and that when we talked about what kids need right now spiritually, it just felt like, let's kick that off with Melissa, because we just trust your voice and heart and thoughts and wisdom so much in this place.
And not just us, but we get requests all the time when we intersect with parents who are like, when's Melissa coming back on the podcast?
I told you, sweet Amanda Williams said, you're like a warm hug. And she didn't say that about us.
No.
Well,
And we should also mention you have a colleague you brought with you today, too. You all may need to flip over to watching this episode on YouTube, because Happy, who is a bit of a celebrity as she has a book named after her, is with us today, too. She and Patches may add to our episode. They may have some comments to add to our conversation along the way.
Yes. If they wrestle too much, we'll separate them to their separate corners. But for now, they're doing okay.
for now, Patches is just grabbing Happy's ear, and Happy seems to be enjoying it. So
Yes,
good.
Happy's
good.
very
Good.
sweet.
Mhm.
She found her calm. Isn't that what it's called? Happy finds her
Found her
calm.
That's exactly
Uh-huh.
it.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Found her calm.
Happy has found her calm. Melissa has not found her calm. Happy's found hers.
Okay. But
Okay.
Melissa, really, decades of sitting with kids, decades of teaching kids. You have everything amazing to say. And we're just going to jump right in on a big question.
Uh-huh.
After all this time of teaching kids, talking with kids, what would you say is the deepest spiritual need you see in children and adolescents today? And how has that changed over the years? Because you really have been teaching for so long, and we talk so much about how there's so much that's changed with kids, and then there are things that hasn't at all.
You're right. There's some that have changed. And the thirst, the longings, the sense of I need a sense of security. I want to be loved. All of that, accepted, chosen, have a sense of significance. It hasn't changed. But what I do feel like there's an intensity. And I feel like it takes, we spend more time in the softening realm, that there is a protectiveness there.
Yes.
And some of that is the fear, the anxiety that's there. I'm not sure I trust you, or and so I feel like what kids are wanting is they want us to be authentic. That's very, very important. And I feel like there's a one step forward and two back. I'm not sure you are real or authentic, but their need is, I just need to feel safe with you. And I need to find out if you're safe or not.
Oh, that's so good.
Okay, thinking about that word safe.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about younger children, so elementary age and below,
Mm-hmm.
Melissa, what would you say helps them understand God in ways that feels safe and accessible and full of wonder?
Well, the other day I was reading probably one of my favorite scriptures in Deuteronomy 6. It's not that I just love to sit down and read Deuteronomy, but I do love this scripture, and I'm sure so many of the parents that are listening are familiar with it. Deuteronomy 6, 4 through 9, and it's what is termed as the Shema, the prayer that has for thousands of years that the Jewish prayer that hear, O God, that every morning that they would say, every evening, and here is what Shema, the Hebrew word is Shema, means to listen and to hear. And to say that, and we were just talking about this recently, but it just comes to my mind, and this is a complicated backdoor way to answer your question. So those of you that are listening, if you stay with us, usually I get to some kind of answer. But in Deuteronomy, and what it's talking about in this prayer, hear, oh God, He is our one God, and that we may love Him with our heart, with our mind, with our soul. And anyway, it talks in there about the part I love is obviously that I talk so much about in the message, where it says right after that, get this, get these words inside of you, get them inside, and then get them inside your children. And then it goes on to describe how you do that. And it says, talk about them wherever you are sitting at home or walking in the street. Talk about them from the time you get up in the morning to when you fall in bed at night. Tie them on your hands and foreheads as a reminder. Inscribe them on the doorpost of your homes and on your city gates. I love that description of what it means for children. It is as we are going along. It is living life. It is receiving for the parents. We to receive, and this is not a new truth, because we can't give what we don't experience ourselves. Even though I try so hard to prove that wrong, because I tend to try to teach what I don't know. And right now, this scripture has just been so convicting for me to even talk this morning. It is receiving. It is receiving that truth. Then it overflows. And it's not just what can I do? It is being aware of as we are going along, in this day, and it may be picking them up from school. It may be at home fixing dinner. It is watching, being aware, not watching, but just being aware that truth that we have received, that it's then that it can come out.
Yeah. It's convicting to all of us. Well, let's talk for a minute about anxiety. And we know so many young kids are feeling anxious. And it's funny, I don't think I've even told you that I talked about in the Capable book about a teaching you did at Hopetown on the verse, go in the strength that you have. And a girl saying, but what if you don't have any? And just feeling like so many kids feel that way today. And we'd love for you to talk about how parents can introduce some spiritual practices, which I already have an idea of one I want you to talk about, but that can help kids find more of a sense of peace and calm when they feel anxious.
I think I tend to be more of thinking of how the parents, how the adults are relating to the child, and I think spiritual practices, I tend to put the focus on practice, and it is something that the kids really teach us as we are with them. We learn from them. And one of the reasons why I said this is a hard podcast for me is that I'm used to having a child right here, and I'm talking to them about their anxiety, and then I feel like as God begins to awaken the truth that I've received, then I can share it with them. Instead, there's no one here but happy, and I'm looking at you all, and so teaching this, I just want to encourage parents to be in the moment with their child, and that there is not a focus on instruction as much as it is on their presence and God's presence with us. Because again, the kids will know that, and they want to have that relationship and that connection. I think I have found that whenever I start to lose the attention of the kids or a child that I'm talking to, I tell a story. And I've made up a lot of stories, as you all know, and then there are true stories that I tell. But I think stories are just a great way for that anxiety that's there, and where there's a tense, that it draws them in to the story. And just as Jesus told stories, told us parables, and then for it not to be so intense in the instruction, I think that creates more anxiety of I've got to get the right answer. I'm supposed to be learning, but that ask them questions, but questions that show that you're interested in them. Of what do you think God was like in that story? And I think I've mentioned before Eugene Peterson, he did a first Bible for children, and he has some questions after each passage of Scripture that are really, really good. And but I think stories, just telling a story, and again, it doesn't have to have so much instruction, and it is relations. It's more about relationship there, and relationship with God. And then I think dealing with anxiety, going outside, nature, letting just children have this intuitiveness, and where God speaks to them, and they will notice things that we've gotten used to, and times that they'll carry something in their hand that I usually want to jump 3 feet when I see, but that it's something that is stirred in them, and so it begins to teach about God to the kids in a creative way, and it's a real patient way, and again, letting them be curious and letting them ask questions. And so I think that all of those kind of things for children, especially whether it's art, I think laughter is so important. I think music is so important, and I think that just the sense of a good story, an open sky, just we just need to remember that God's Spirit, that God works through that, and letting a child go out and begin to experience, I think helps with that anxiety that's there.
Well, what I love that you're saying is so much about what Daystar's about too. And I think we talk so often about how unique this place is, and we didn't even really do an introduction. We just jumped in with you because we just know everybody knows you. But starting Daystar, and when I first interviewed with you, the thing that struck me so much was about the relationship. And I think you would say transformation happens within relationship.
Right.
In a counseling office, but also at home. And the best practice is having relationship more than, as you said, instruction. And we live in such a society that is about instruction right now. And so I love that you're taking us back to that really being the priority more than the thing that you have to do or the specific scripture you have to instill in them. It's really that so much of that is going to emerge from relationship. It's so good.
I just love that too. And again, I think your children, the kids, the teenagers, they teach us themselves. Right. And once they have the sense of trust with you, I think about during the ice storm, and I had these grandiose things of what I wanted to do with your nephews, 7 and 3, almost 4.
Almost 4.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, Melissa's Lake House is Hopetown, where we have our little summer retreat program, and the Webbers and I have the lake house next door. So we were all snowed in up there together, which was so fun, and had our 2 big yards.
Yes, it was so fun. And I had this thought, and I think I text over to you all if the kids wanted to come over and make some memories in the bakery, and we would do art and cook and do all these things that I feel like it's hard to have time for. And I got no response. And and mostly because there was a tournament going on, a
Mario tournament.
A Mario tournament. And it's really, that, and it was like, I was just like, oh, shush, what am I going to do? I don't like Mario. I'm no good at Mario. And they didn't invite me to the tournament, and I got all down. And so then the next day, I come down, and some of you are in the bakery drawing, doing things. And it is like I had other things to be doing, and I thought, well, this is just great, but I need to get busy on these other things. And then I thought, no, Melissa, enjoy it. It is not your timetable. And that's what I want to say. They're not, especially the children, they're not on our timetable. And as they came up and they said, what are you doing? As I started to go back inside, and I said, well, I'm cleaning out my closet. And they could not wait to follow me upstairs to find treasures.
Oh, you should have seen what they came back to our house with.
I can't imagine.
Treasure boxes full of so many things.
It was for 2 hours. It was exactly what I wanted the day before. And so I think this flexibility and just knowing again and letting the kids lead and enjoy them. And I know that can't happen all the time, but they sure do lead us.
All right, let's jump from kids to teenagers for a minute. So teenagers are asking big questions about identity, meaning, and belonging. What would you say you believe teenagers need spiritually right now from the adults who love them?
I think for teenagers, it does move into their deeper longing is, do I matter? I mean, they put those words in my mouth years ago in a teaching that I was doing. Do I matter? Do I make a difference? Do I have a purpose? And I think, does my life have meaning? If I weren't here, would anyone miss me? And I think that whereas children need this more of a predictableness. They need that this is what we're going to do, that, and we have talked about that teenagers, you really lean the other way into more unpredictableness. And it is being more not, well, I guess we said it in our book, first book that we ever wrote, that the degree that a teenager can predict what you're going to say or do, they will dismiss you. And again, I think there is a safety in knowing and depending and with your parents and different things you can do. But I also think the spontaneity, surprise, that they love that, and they love being a part of it. They love having a sense of meaning there.
And I have to just insert, Sissy, you don't know this, but you won't be the least bit surprised by it. I told Melissa this story that, Melissa, when I think about your journey of helping teenagers find their way to meaning and answer that question, all the decades of you having done that. I was teaching in Austin, Texas at a school, and a woman walked up to me and said, I always talk about Daystar at the beginning of talk in my work there, and she said, I know Jesus because of Melissa Trevathan, your boss, and I'm working with kids today because of my time with her. And I think all the adults in this world right now who found their way to Christ first and then found their way to meaning, because you have been helping teenagers do that for so incredibly long. So you don't just talk about it, you do it.
I just interviewed a college kid for summer staff who said, I can't imagine anything better than sitting in Melissa's teaching twice a day. So, yeah.
That is amazing grace for sure.
Well, as we're talking about teenagers.
Yes.
We all know a lot of parents panic when kids doubt or question their faith. And we would love for you to talk about how specifically parents can respond when that happens in ways that invite conversation rather than shut it down.
Yeah. Well, I think that's great. I think it's important to normalize doubt. That's part of growing. And to even make statements like, that question that you're asking says to me that you're really curious. It says to me that you are wanting to know, that you are wanting to grow, instead of feeling the pressure, which I think we all do, of answering and fixing. And I don't think the gospel is about fixing. I think it's more. It's more about, well, obviously about faith, but I think that it's a part of the journey that we're on, and so instead of feeling the pressure that I think so many parents feel, is that pressure to answer, that it is inviting them into a dialogue. And what stirred that question in you? What's going on inside? Or it can be, oh my goodness, I remember when I felt when that same doubt question came up in my mind. And there's so many things that give the child a sense of, or the teenager, that it's okay. I can invite you into this. God is not fragile. He can handle your questions and your doubts. And then I always love to say, go to the Psalms and begin to read how the psalmist cries out his doubts, his questions,
his
and how
vengeance.
Right. And where you give them something, they're still going back to God. But I know it's easy for me to say, but it is very hard for a parent when their child is either doubting or is angry or says, I don't believe in God, and I understand that, and in so many ways, though, I think we feel as adults and the families feel such pressure to fix things again, and it's not about fixing it. It is about inviting that dialogue, and then the faith begins to come. It begins to come as the child or the teenager feels that freedom, that I can question and doubt. And even this may be a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay, you used a word I want to circle back to. You talked about pressure a minute ago, and I want to camp out there for a second. You've spent countless hours with teenagers who feel pressure from school, sport, social media, so many places. So how would you say parents can help teenagers experience God not as another source of pressure, but as a source of rest and grounding?
I like that question because it does acknowledge that their world that they're in if it's their athletics, they're evaluated. It's their school, they're evaluated.
Yes.
Social standing, how they look, on and on and on about being evaluated, and the pressure that they feel, and it's so natural to think that's how God is.
Mm.
He's evaluating us. I need to perform for Him, and I think that is where it is so important for teenagers to have a safer place, a safe place, a group, a Bible study, wherever the parent, it may be searching, it may be looking, and it's not going to be the ideal, but at the same time that to know there's a difference. What will come natural to them, and I think it does to us too. When I'm not receiving truth, I'm performing.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I think spiritual director I was talking to the other day said, that I had performance anxiety. And so when I start talking, it kind of goes away because I enjoy talking. But in the beginning, it's certainly there. And so again, I think that it is a very natural thing and is going to happen, and to see God as one who's evaluating us and looking at our performance. And oh, how important it is to begin to separate, to have other voices with kids, with other kids, with ones that you trust, that they are hearing grace and beginning to taste what God is like, and His forgiveness and His acceptance, and that He's not evaluating them. And it's important.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to say something really directly, parents, and I want you to hang in there, because I don't even know that I've ever thought about that it does feel like the evaluative and performative aspect of kids' lives has ramped up so significantly and so intensely.
Right.
And that small groups and youth group and different places they're connecting with peers and other grown-ups they trust are one of the only parts of life, other than hopefully home, that they're not experiencing that.
Right.
And I think we would all say we don't have as many decades of working with kids as you do, but quite a few. And we have seen a significant decline in the groups that we offer around here.
Right.
The attendance, the numbers, and we've heard it across the board from a lot of youth groups.
Youth pastors talk about it all the time.
And parents, it's because we're prioritizing sports and we're prioritizing activities that are performative and evaluative. And your kids need a place outside of home that is not that. And if you have to pick one less sport, if you have to pick one less activity, it is that important that they have that. And so, Melissa, thank you for saying that. I don't know that I've felt the connection, and it feels so important.
I feel like it is too. And the kids and the families are going to go so naturally toward, and for some, this really, some of you are thinking this probably, this has really built confidence in my child. And I would say on a team of 15, it's built confidence in a couple or two or three. But there's the one that, never gets to play. And I think kids can naturally, I'm going to keep trying. Somewhere I'm going to have a place. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if they're not hearing who God is, what He is like, what it's like to have a relationship with Jesus, who puts His arm around their shoulder and says, I know you touched that base. You are not out. I know you did. I'm with you in this. And that Jesus just walks alongside us in it.
So thinking, Melissa, about this generation of kids, all ages, little ones and teenagers, what is one spiritual truth or encouragement you wish every child knew right now deep in their bones?
That they're not too much. I think kids feel, and I think I hear this a lot, I feel like I'm too much.
Mm.
There's too much in me. If people really knew what I was like. And for them to know that the truth is God does know you. And you are not too much. And they begin to taste that when they can be honest about the feelings they're having, the struggles they're having, and that they experience with the people around them, the adults around them, that, ooh, that hurts. That's hard. I see. I know you did that. But they still remain in relationship. They still are loved. They begin to experience that with people, with adults, with their peers. And then I think it just opens up so much more of receiving what God has to say about them, which is, I made you. I love you. You are mine. I forgive you. I am with you. All the words that we need, the scripture, the truth that's there. And so that's just what comes probably to my mind the quickest right now.
I love that.
Right. Okay, your mother recently celebrated her 100th birthday. It was an amazing celebration for an amazing woman.
Yes, it was.
And in thinking about this idea of what kids need now, we'd love to ask you, what is something your mom gave you throughout your growing up that you find yourself going back to even today?
I would say that my mother, who is 100, she's over 100 now, as she would say, she's still doing. She sees the beauty in people, in flowers, and in food. And even though she's not preparing a lot of meals and inviting and entertaining people like she once did, that during this ice storm that we talked about, she would send my niece to Kroger to get some tulips. And then she would send them out in the neighborhood. And or if she made soup, she would do that. And so I grew up because she loved to give. And so I think she taught me how important it is to give to other people, to enjoy other people, and to laugh. She has a great sense of humor, and we can go through such tense times as we are right now, as she is pretty sure that she can do her taxes herself. And I am struggling. And anyway, it gets so hard and we can get so tense. And then there's at some point where we start to laugh. And one of us will say something and just go back and forth. And so that's a lot of things, but she has taught me a lot as I've experienced my 77 years with her. Thank you for asking. And for writing a poem. You all did. She loves that poem. She's trying to figure out how she can frame it.
Well, we need to say that it was one of the most delightful birthday parties I've ever been to. And two, the things she's instilling in you, books and bread, are two of them. And it was at the library that is named after her, the Children's Library, and she only served bread.
That's
That's just the best birthday I could imagine.
Yes,
books and bread.
Yes, she, as we were planning the party, she said, "Well, it's my birthday, and we need to have what I love best, and that is books and bread." And that's what we had, as you know, and she loved it.
Well, I think I love books and bread both better knowing you. So it's rippling down.
Thank you.
All the way.
So much.
Melissa, thank you.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you all. You always make it easy for something that I feel apprehension and my performance anxiety comes out. So thank you.
We've got a great podcast you can listen to on how to find peace.
Okay, great.
You.
Oh.
David, what a team we have that we get to call friends who help make this podcast possible. Chris Starrett, our engineer.
Our management team at KCH.
And we are thrilled to be a part of the That Sounds Fun network.
Our music was created by the insanely talented Dave Haywood of Lady A.
And if this podcast felt helpful to you, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, all the things.
We are grateful for you and cheering you on always.